Welcome back to Rewatched, and today we'll talk about Devdas, the Sanjay Leela Bhansali version. This film could as well have been some anti-drinking propaganda, albeit presented very melodramatically. Devdas is based on a book which was written in 1917 during the British rule by Sarat Chandra Chatterjee, but the film has distorted a lot of the plot lines of the novel, which is why the fans of the novels kinda hate the film. It opens with Dev returning home after having been abroad for a decade. Honestly, these women are more dressed up at home than Bengalis dress up for Durga Puja. Did SLV set the standard for all the Bollywood serials ke costumes through this film? Bro, I get you're a zamindar, but it really looks like your clothes and gehne way more than you. If you want to see what rich Bengalis actually dressed like during the British rule, here's a clip from a film called Charulata. Anyway, Devdas' mother is pissed because he goes to meet his childhood love before he meets her. But they were legit 6 when they parted. Their lives have to be uneventful as heck if the most important person to them is a childhood friend who they haven't met in a decade. Plus, Paro has kept a diya alight all these years for Dev. That's legit how she's introduced in the film, holding the diya and staring at it. Loki SRK from Dar vibes. So apparently Dev also loves Paro, but his love language is insulting and being rude.
अब कुछ समझदारी की बातें करने लगी हो. तुम बड़ी हो गई हो पारो.
You are so silly.
मैं कभी याद नहीं आई.
बात तो वो याद रहती है ना पारो, जिस बात में कोई बात हो, लेकिन तुम में तो कोई बात है ही नहीं ना.
Well, I'm no one to kink shame anybody, to each their own. पारो का इतना खतरनाक ऑब्सेशन है कि वो दिन भर बाइनोक्यूलर लेके देव के घर पे झांकती रहती है. But what's more worrying is that all their walls are made of glass. एक छोटू सा भूकंप आया and dead. So they meet for the first time and Dev catches a fly in her room because
तुम्हें कोई और छुए मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता.
And the same man spinelessly runs away from home and leaves Paro behind because his family objected their relationship. And then later, 3 years after Paro's been married, asks her to run away with him. इतने मिक्स सिग्नल्स तो मेरे को पूरे लाइफ में सारे रिलेशनशिप्स मिला के नहीं मिले जितना ये एक बंदा देता है. Anyway, so that happens, and then this man turns into a raging alcoholic to drown out his sorrows for being rejected by Paro, whereas he's the one who dug his own grave. But he realizes that, except the whole second half of the film is him swimming in a pool of self-pity and alcohol. One thing I really liked was that Paro was pretty strong-headed. Her family constantly got shamed for belonging to a lower caste, but she knew what she wanted, which was Dev, and she unabashedly claimed it at the cost of bringing more shame upon herself, especially by Dev's very orthodox dad.
जब दिन के उजाले में बात न बनी तो रात का सहारा लिया तूने. खुलेआम कोठा क्यों नहीं खोल लेते तुम माँ बेटी?
But Sumitra's prediction was right, because Paro ends up fine according to Tabke's societal standards, married to an upper caste family despite the fact that her husband already had 3 grown-up kids, the oldest one of which was Paro's age.
You are so silly.
Mention not.
But then women ke liye, even the best standards have always been extremely low, so I'm not surprised. And then Dev turns into a chalta firta havoc who loves setting rooms and havelis on fire. Dev then meets Chandramukhi, a tawaif, and moves in with her, and she also falls in love with him while he keeps insulting and slut-shaming her.
बड़े अफसोस की बात है. एक तवाइफ मुझे रास्ते से उठाकर यहाँ पर ले आई. सुना चुन्नी बाबू, एक तवाइफ इश्क की बात कर रही है.
यूं महफिल से उठकर जाना बेअदबी होती है.
और यूं महफिल में मर्दों के सामने नाचना बेशर्मी.
All these women in this film are obsessed with toxic men. Good for me, I feel represented. So Dev decides to get lost for a while and Paro extends a hand of friendship to Chandramukhi and says,
बहुत दिनों से हमारे दिल ने भी किसी से बात नहीं की चंद्रमुखी. इस त्योहार के बहाने ही सही, क्यों ना हम भी अपने दुखों को भुला दें, झूम ले, साथ नाच ले, थोड़ा सा जी ले. नहीं, शायद हमारी खुशी देर तक पहुंचे.
I am living for this. This is so messed up but also really empowering, you know what I mean? I can't explain how I felt in the end. I was cringing and crying and judging myself for crying. Despite the fact that the male lead was pretty problematic, emotionally abusive, loved playing the victim card, and quite avoidant, the film was worth watching and even a little bit enjoyable because of the spectacular female leads. Even though both Paro and Chandra gave into Dev's mommy issues and wanted to like mother him and rescue him, they were both really outspoken, dignified women and they knew what they wanted. If only they dated each other instead of that stupid Dev. Let's hope someday someone will make a spin-off where that actually happens.
You are so silly.
Mention not.